Alright, wonderful fuckers. Welcome back to portrait drawing, right? Practicing portraits. Artwod Portrait Roadmap. Artwod being the best draftsmanship platform in the world. Drawing for imagination, art platform, education platform, whatever the fuck you want to call it. They're the fucking best. They're the best! But yeah, draw along. Anybody who knows me knows that you shall draw along. Use me as drawing along uh, incentive. I don't fucking know. Practice your portraits. Draw along with me, right? For full disclosure, I'm not going to be practicing on the back of this page because, as you can see, the green breathes through. Fucking Asian bleeds through, right? Quite a bit. I do not replace my L's with R's, not until tomorrow. But so I'll be using gray. This is the gray. It's actually kind of similar to the black pen, but I don't really know another way to go about it because I do want to draw over and practice these little helmet designs, right? And it's good because like this way I get to really think about different ways to design. Like these are all bad, right? But 500 reps from now, because now I'm numbering my reps, they'll be pretty okay, and then they'll be pretty decently okay, right? So yeah, full disclosure, I will be drawing on the back of this on my own. Like I'll probably be practicing, and there'll be like their own separate repetitions starting from one. But I'll obviously be transparent as to how many reps that was as well. But right now we're on rep number 19, so draw along. Let's practice portraits. Or if you want to practice another fundamental of sorts, let's practice that, or please practice that. But just give me a moment. I'm just fucking reorganizing my shit. But hashtag LFG, right? As the youngins say. Yeah, and I have some. I just typed in helmet design concept art on the left on my iPad over there, so I can look at some designs, references, right? Ideas that I can get for what the overlay for these little bean faces, right? So right now with Artwod, obviously we're just practicing these very simple beanbag faces and placing features on them. One thing I was thinking about is when it comes to these helmet designs, right? I shouldn't, and you'll hear me be going, hopefully not, but it probably sounds like it to many people who actually do consistently listen to me, the fucking one of you who do, right? But art is obviously something that is very difficult, right? So consistently there might be things that like like for me I'll be like I think this is the way, oh wait, I think this is the way, I think this is the way. But at the end of the day, I'm constantly just trying to improve and understand spatial reasoning and design, right? That's the crux, the main thing. So right now I'm thinking, because I know yesterday, like previous video, whatever the fuck you want to call it, right, I was like, oh, I'm gonna do mechanical helmets and they're gonna have hinges. But I think right now let's just focus on whatever aesthetically pleasing designs are, right? And when I was talking to Tira in Broken Draw, like I talked to him properly a few days ago. I talked about it in the video prior to the last one, right? And he was like, we were just talking, and he was like, to be honest, I was telling him, like, I think honestly, I want to learn faces and people in general because they're features, right? Once you can place features on a face, it's kind of like you can associate features with hard surface objects or anything. Like a bus has features, and you can start thinking of them as characters, right? The way I'm thinking about it right now, and by the way, while I'm talking, I am trying to visualize everything, but the way I'm thinking about it right now is just these helmets, everything are just features, right? Features that need to be placed, or these helmets are just things that have features. Right, and there are features that need to be placed onto the hold on, I'm thinking. What I'm trying to say is when making something like a helmet or a car or anything, it's just when it comes to design, I am thinking out loud here that it's probably best to think of the design for them as features, right? In terms of like, okay, one shape here, another couple shapes here, right? Something like that. And another thing I forgot to do yesterday is, and I'm focusing on doing today, is asking myself the question, am I in extreme cognitive discomfort? If the answer is no, it's time to realign. So again, I know this seems very simple, but we can actually force ourselves to be in extreme discomfort even while doing this, just like I tried to, which is I put it inside the box, right? So that's the main perspective. And then inside of it, we have half a sphere inside which is inside a box, and then another half a sphere which is inside a box, and then a quarter sphere which is connecting this half a sphere and half a sphere, right? So that's already a bunch of different things to think about. And then also try rotating in my mind as I'm drawing it. I haven't been able to do that properly yet. But see, we can already think about multiple different things, and obviously line quality as well, right? And again, like while I'm thinking, and always try to be thinking about the box and the sphere it's located in, right? Here as well, we can, and this beanbag thing is a great way to think about foreshortening and as well as following the contour. So there's a lot that can be done even now. And obviously, like, this isn't just an ellipse or a circle. It's an ellipse in perspective. So it's in perspective. Let's just say there's a curved plane that is attached to this, right? So the ellipse actually has to follow and be inside that curved plane that's attached to this, right? So there's a lot to think about. And again, I'm trying to storytell now, right? So let's say this person, let's make it a girl. And how do we know it's a girl? Because she has eyelashes, right? Men don't have eyelashes. We haven't unlocked that feature yet. So this girl is looking away, and again, the nose is half a sphere, right? All coy. So she's like, phew, 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 phew. I didn't do anything. I didn't do anything at all, right? But little do we know, little do I know, because I don't even know what she's done yet. But little do we know, okay, and another thing, like anytime I notice myself not using as much mental energy as I could be, I'm going to keep telling myself, am I in extreme cognitive discomfort, or am I just in extreme discomfort, right? And I find that's a better way for me to immediately just be like, okay, main perspective, small perspectives, manipulated shapes, and just really, really try zoning in on that, because I've noticed that helps me a lot, rather than just constantly stating like, oh, I need to be thinking about this, thinking about that. I've sort of intuited that extreme discomfort equates to all the different parts about perspective, right? So am I in extreme discomfort? No, but I can be right now if I just, and again, I'm trying to rotate this in my mind. Like while I'm drawing this perspective, I'm attempting to rotate it and seeing it from another perspective, like maybe this way. And that's going to help a lot too, because we obviously want to be able to see. Now that is extremely uncomfortable. So what I'm going to draw right here is going to be very simple, but it was very uncomfortable to do, which is what matters to me, right? It was very uncomfortable to do. And again, like I'm at extreme discomfort while I'm trying to see the contour lines, where they come out. Right? Something like that. Is that incorrect though? That is pretty incorrect. It's not aligned properly. It's like slightly misaligned, but it's not bad. But this is what I want, right? This is the extreme discomfort that I want. Okay, so let's start with putting some sort of helmet on her, right? And this is where my helmet design little references. I'm just gonna pick a random image, right? And we're just going to try to see how to design based on that random image, right? Because right now, what we really need to be thinking about is just symmetry. Just symmetry, large shapes, small shapes, and Broken Draw Tyrion told me this. His name is Tyrion. I'm gonna alternatively change between calling him Broken Draw and Tyrion. Is like silhouette, right? Silhouette, he said, is a main, really big, important thing. So, in that case, and this pen is really good because it's gonna force me to get better at drawing small lines. Now that is probably a pretty mediocre silhouette, right? But I'm just trying to figure this out just as much as any of you are, because again, it's gonna take fucking millions of tries to get a decent understanding of design down, right? And again, we have to follow the perspective. So let's see, if I look at the example, there's kind of like an eye cutout. So okay, so now we know, like, okay, maybe eye cutouts are something that can be done. And now again, we have to follow this. Okay, and again, form wrapping of sorts. Right now, it kind of just looks like she has a pumpkin that's surrounding her head. But I guess we can improve that. Hopefully we'll improve that. It's also the small details, right? So something like just adding an extra layer of that can possibly make it seem more detailed, right? But obviously this is way too thick here. But again, like it just looks like she's wearing some stupid fucking pumpkin thing on her head, right? So what other ways? Well, okay, there's something that we can jut out here, so we can possibly do something like this. And these are all like what I'm looking at in the references are kind of fantasy armor, like, you know, medieval type stuff. But for me personally, I'm just trying to figure out, because if I'm trying to think about it as features, right? And I've already accepted that 99% of what I draw is going to be bad. And it's kind of like, it's two different skills I'm building. While I'm drawing the portrait, I'm trying to think about, you know, the figure, or not the figure, but like the perspective, the shapes inside of that. Now, that all matters as well, but now we have to think about design, right? Like, does it make sense design-wise? You know, when it covers the face or whatever, is there a purpose to it? And this is where looking at these examples is hopefully going to give me something, because, okay, maybe like she needs a breathing apparatus. So again, it can be a mix of fantasy and hard surface, right? And again, like, this is why I need to think about perspective, because is this centered properly? Because yeah, I mean, she might be looking that way, but this is, I don't think it's centered at all. It should be more like this. And this is why thinking about that box consistently is the most important thing I believe that should be done. Because if we can't think about the perspective, then we're going to be spending much more time just trying to figure out what it is that we're trying to even draw. See, like, that was really badly done. Okay, and then how can it be connected? Well, something like that, right? If that's connecting like so, maybe. And this is why faces are probably, like, I'm starting to realize faces are such a difficult thing to design around, because they're organic and they have it's like they sort of force you to understand what the fuck you're actually wrapping something around is, right? And that's very difficult. That's very difficult. We're gonna leave that. And yeah, the story is she's looking at something and she's like, haha, I'm glad I didn't get caught. Now, why is she glad she didn't get caught? Well, tune in 10 seconds from now, because I'm gonna rest my brain. But this is good. Like, that's such a big mistake. And again, I actually think the gray markers or the gray brush pen's not bad for this, because I can focus on really making the lines as thin as possible, because you can see it absorbs a lot more ink. The paper, or a lot more ink is, yeah, absorbed onto the page with this gray brush pen, because it's a more new brush pen. That's what happens with these specific ones, right? Pentel Brush Shine Pen Artist. Really stupid name. Fucking retarded name, but hey, that's branding for you. Great pen though. Please sponsor me. They're not sponsoring me. Nobody's fucking sponsoring this channel. I've come to realize that after my conversation with Tyrion. I can only sell courses or make stickers, or anything that isn't YouTube or sponsor ad revenue, which is wonderful. I'm really looking forward to having to put in all that work. I'm not being sarcastic. It'd be a good opportunity to learn business. But anyways, I'm gonna rest my brain. I encourage you to do so as well. Okay, so I was just kind of relatively thinking that, and when it comes to drawing over the helmet, I was a little bit too influenced. You know how Antonio from artwod says this one thing where he's like, manipulate your reference, don't be manipulated by your reference. Bless me. So I was evidently very manipulated by my reference, because I tried to follow the shape design and like essentially what that helmet was, rather than trying to understand. That was a fucking, what the fuck kind of tool is this? Rather than trying to understand, and why is this so big? What the fuck, bro? This is, well, anyways, Jesus Christ. Rather than trying to understand exactly what design elements I could personally understand. So we can say right now for helmets, things need to jut out, things need to have symmetry, and there's like consistent shapes or cutouts that occur, right? This is like the same reverse engineering that I did with the hinges stuff, right? So obviously we can bring that back in a little bit, but yeah, we'll see how it goes. I think with the hinges stuff or the mechanical stuff, I can definitely start bringing that more in once I start doing figure. But like I'll do my best. I'll do my best to incorporate whatever I can, if I see that it makes sense, right? But anyways, she's looking that way, and she's like, ha ha ha. I hope nobody knows. Little do you know, dumbass, that this person knows, and he is not happy. Okay, but how do I want the perspective to be? How do I want the perspective to be? Okay, okay, we'll do it like this. We'll make it that his head's like tilting up. So this is the actual perspective, but he's tilting his head up, right? So yeah, he's tilting his head up. But again, like it's extremely difficult because the main question is, can I follow through with that? Come true, fam, come true. Line work was very shoddy there. Yeah, he's tilting his head up. Nope, that's not what I meant to do. There you go. Oh, that was a huge mistake. But again, what am I doing right now? I'm feeling really good. I'm very happy I made that mistake because my brain is going to recognize that now. When we attach dopamine to errors, and I'm going to always be a broken record about this, it expedites the learning process. It literally expedites the learning process. Because, and you know why I made this mistake? Because I wasn't in extreme discomfort. I didn't see the perspective as well as I could have. No, I forgot to add eyebrows. She's like, oh, I hope nobody sees that. Right. Very basic eyebrows for now. Very basic expressions. But he's like, and I said, bitch. I saw that. You said that though. You said bitch though? Oh yeah, for sure I said bitch. And then he's like, harumph. Yeah. Like bitch, I definitely saw that. Okay. Yeah, he's like, you really think I didn't see what you did? But what did she do? Well, that story will be for when I find out what she did. When I myself, the creator of sorts, understand what it is that she did. And I create the narrative. Yeah, his head's like tilted, so his body will be like this, but he's like, Riri? Did you really think Japan and China were actually different countries? Fuck are you? That's a South Park reference for anybody who doesn't know. See, yeah, that's really messed up. Yeah, it's not attached properly, but it's okay. Oh yeah, I didn't forget to add the nose. I keep forgetting to add the nose. Something like that. I think that's off perspective as well. It's not centered. That's another big mistake. Okay. And again, line confidence. You see, this is what you don't want to do. I want to make it very clear to anybody who's watching, right? And if you're listening, like, yeah, don't scratch or scritch or repeatedly go over your lines. One fell swoop or as many consistent fell swoops, like, you know, whether it's one long broken line to another long broken line to another long broken line. Or just, the point is confidence. You don't want to make lines that you're just kind of noodling over and you're like, I don't know where it's going, right? Or like, or you're not able to consistently maintain it, right? And this is what we're trying to improve, and this is what we're trying to push. Okay, so helmet, we know that there's consistency, right? Okay, so what can we do? Well, I could try something like this. And again, this is the part where really thinking about the perspective is going to help me. So am I in extreme discomfort? No, but now I'm going to practice being in that extreme discomfort. You know, trying to make sure my lines are okay. See, that's already a fuck up right there. See, that's already a mess up right there. But it's okay. We're just gonna keep going, and we're just gonna make the helmet this way. There needs to be a sort of eye cutout, right? So we can. And the funny thing is, like, this is actually harder to design for. I feel purely on the basis that these faces, what a bar. I'm not a rapper. Purely on the basis that these faces do not actually follow human proportions, in the sense that, you know, the mouth juts out a lot, right? So it's actually kind of creature design in a sense. You know, I'm thinking about how can I design for creatures. Okay, what silhouette can I do here? I'm trying to think. Okay, so we can maybe have the mouth be exposed. Like so. And again, we need the perspective to be correct. And there you go. See, again, like, do you see how unconfident these lines are? Because I'm not able to currently draw with extreme accuracy. There you go. And let's have it be a little three-dimensional, because that's always going to help. Okay, that's an interesting mask. It's nothing incredible. I'm just happy that these actually are helping me with my lines more than anything, because what I'm realizing is a lot of these masks that I'm looking at, or helmets, sorry, is just, it's all about symmetry, and it's all about the fine details, right? So it's really just all about these fine little details. You can't have fine details if you can't create fine lines, right? So I appreciate that. I appreciate that quite a bit. And how do we create fine lines? Via practice. Just abundance of practice. Okay, this is whatever. This is okay. Hold up, but we still got to think about the other side, right? There you go. So it's kind of, again, perspective is off. It's kind of going around. This is a great way to practice designing. Yeah, that already looks a lot better than this, right? Even though there's nothing special about this as well, right? But, oh man, this is so good. This is so fucking good. Yeah, this is portrait drawing is going to be my next 2 years, because I'm probably going to do the main portrait drawing, and then I'm going to do the intermediate portrait drawing, right? Which is their shading. I might either do realism, or I might do like their dwarf or elf one, artwod. They have a bunch of different roads, right? But is this gray? Fuck, this is gray. That was an accident. Okay. Let's go. Okay, so why is this man angry at this woman, right? Why is he like, I know what you did. I know what you did. Also made a perspective mistake here as well, but we're just gonna ignore it for the time being. Why is he mad at her? Why are you so angry, bro? Well, I think, it might be because, let's see. She diddled this man's butthole, right? She put a lollipop in there without him asking. Well, he did ask for a lollipop, but not in the way that she gave it to him, right? Therefore, it was very mean of her to do that, you know. And he is condemning her. He's like, hey, you can't just put a lollipop in someone's butthole when they don't ask for it, right? At the very least, you need a permission slip. You could have asked me. I have dozens. I've done this. I've been doing this my entire life. Okay, this is how we raise people in the military. But unfortunately, she is new. She's still in basic right now, so she didn't know about the customs. That's okay. But now we have to show the lollipop butthole man, right? We have to find out what perspective he's in. I'm just thinking right now while I scratch my nose. Context for you: this is the nose scratching arc of the fucking episode or whatever the hell you want to call it. Okay, seriously though, where's the lollipop butthole man? Or maybe we'll make it a woman. You know, women also deserve lollipops in their buttholes. It would be discriminatory otherwise. Let's see. We'll see. We'll see. Okay, because this is like the reason is why I'm taking so long thinking about this is because this is a great way to practice composing a scene as well. Right? Okay, maybe she's just lying down here. She's like, I didn't do it, but literally the lollipop receiver. I guess it's like a fucking. It's like she has an antenna, but you know, come from the other end. But okay, so how do we want to do this? What perspective do we want? This is great. It really is going to teach me a lot about drawing in different perspectives, especially faces, right? And creating a story out of it. It's going to be very helpful. Okay. Let's see. I'm thinking about the perspective. Am I in extreme discomfort? No, I'm not, which is why I'm really trying to think about this. I'm really trying to because now I have to compose the scene, right? So I'm trying to think about if everything is grounded, you know? Let's see. Okay, so that was a huge perspective mistake. See how these lines didn't overlap at all, but thankfully, thank fucking goodness, I do actually know the perspective decently well. Should have been a lot more circular, but it's okay. Again, we're also training ourselves to follow the contour, right? Let me just draw the nose. Okay, see, like, sphere, sphere, semi-sphere. See, that's the thing, like, that's why this should have been more like this, right? Because that's the semi-sphere. But it's okay, let's see, okay. Okay, I'm really trying to think right now. Let's try to figure this out. This is a huge mistake. It's amazing how big of a mistake that is. Who's calling me? What the fuck? Weed Man Miami? What the fuck? Spam. Spam, spam, spam. But what the fuck? That's so random. Okay. There you go. Those of you who listened slash watched, you were here for this moment. Never forget Weed Man Miami. That's gonna be one of my thumbnails now. Never forget Weed Man Miami. Okay, if this is for the true OG fans, right? For people who actually listen, you'll now be like, haha, he referenced the thing. Classic. I'll be like, yes. Now please give me money. Okay, I'm trying to think about the nose. Am I in extreme discomfort? No, I'm not. Okay, let's try to think about the nose, how it's positioned. Right? How is the nose positioned? There you go. Something like that. Right? And then the mouth, because again, it's upside down, right? So we're just going to make the mouth static. And the eyes. Okay, again, this is the contour. And the eyes could obviously use a lot of work because we're trying to think about the plane. The wrapping around. Let's turn it around. How does it look? It doesn't look too bad. It doesn't actually look too bad at all. It's relatively accurate because foreshortening is involved here, right? Forehead is much larger. That's not bad. That's not bad at all. You know, I'd say it's decent. Okay, and then we need to get the ear. Obviously, this is actually the center. So again, am I in extreme discomfort? No, I'm not. Let's think about the box. Think about the. Oof, this half a sphere is quarter of a sphere. I fucked up the quarter sphere, obviously. This half a sphere, but yeah, definitely messed up the quarter sphere because the way this is supposed to be like this, this. I don't think I did this right. It's hard to envision the quarter sphere in this, But again, this is the perspective I went with. Actually, technically, this is the perspective I was trying to go with, like this way. But now, because of my mistake, it's ended up becoming this way. There you go. That's the ear. And then, again, am I in extreme discomfort? Maybe. I do need to practice seeing it from the other side. Okay, so now I'm trying to see this from the other perspective. Or see, okay, yeah, so this is what I'm focusing on right now, and I'm consistently going to try to focus on, is just practicing rotating the shape in my mind. Like, practicing rotating what I'm drawing in my mind while I'm already drawing it in an established perspective. I say this all the time, but I think that is a really, really, really good skill to have, because it's going to just, again, it's all things that are going to improve our spatial reasoning, right? It doesn't really matter what we do as long as we focus on improving our spatial reasoning. I mean, in this, yeah, like it does matter what we do, but as long as the goal is like, hey, I'm constantly trying to improve my spatial reasoning, then I think that's not bad. And we'll just make the eyebrows also neutral. That doesn't look too bad, right? Yeah, but that's the face of a man who's got his, or actually, do you want me to say a woman or a man? Well, I already fucking put the eyebrows too close to these, so I can't make eyelashes there anymore. Let's just say it's like fucking, there you go. Yeah, he's just like, oh, right? So that makes sense. I would like to draw the lollipop, but perhaps that's a bit too obscene, you know? Censorship is important on the internet, especially, where everybody can access it, right? I truly fucking believe in censorship in all aspects. Other ways, my haha joke aside. Okay, so again, helmets have symmetry, like it's functional, but symmetry, right? Symmetry, design, there's little shapes involved, right? So if I put this in the box, I try to think about shapes that could be made. Well, right now, I guess we can just think about relatively just, oh, see, this is why I love this pen, because it's gonna really teach me, you can't just fuck around. You have to think and make clear, concentrated decisions if you want to be able to draw, right? And see, like it's all about, there's form wrapping involved here as well. There you go. And let's see, this actually should be a bit more down. I love this, man. I love the fact that how much this challenges me. Okay, and see, I've been drawing for half an hour. This is what I'm able to construct in half an hour, right? So drawing is thinking is difficult. Clearly it's fucking difficult. Can't even say the word difficult. But thinking is difficult, and designing is difficult, right? So right now, what else? We can have openings for the eyes, and we can also maybe have little see, again, we have to follow the contour, so this has to be very clear, right? There you go. And which way should this be? I guess if it's going around this way, this is how the contour is being shaped, like that. And then we can have little, I guess you could call them additions, right? And we have to take into account for shortening, or just the fact that the shape is going to be curving along those lines. I didn't do that very well, and the lines are subpar, right? And the lines are subpar. We have to acknowledge and appreciate that the lines are subpar as well, because designing is very difficult. See, like, now, was that a good decision? Who knows? And the reason I said decision is because drawing is decision making. Just over time and through intentional effort, you know, practicing and just trying to see what other people do, right? It's only through those experiences that we can actually consistently ensure that the decisions we made were actually the quote-unquote correct ones, right? Because like really there aren't correct decisions, but there are decisions that essentially become correct because you've studied and you've learned as much as you could. At least that's just the way I see it. That's not a bad helmet. Again, like I'm trying to keep it simple right now. It does follow the perspective relatively well, right? I think this should have been following the contour a bit more, right? In terms of like a sphere, but I think it's pretty okay. And again, we can just block that out for more I'm gonna use this word very lightly because I don't really know, obviously I don't understand what it means, readability, right? And why don't we give him a strap? Right, in terms of just something to hold that helmet together. Again, constantly trying to be in discomfort, by the way. Really trying my best to be in discomfort. And this is why I love this pen too. Like I love it when the material is difficult. You know, it genuinely makes me happy because that just means, because again, like I look at somebody like Kim Jong-il or Peter Han or anybody, okay, let's just, because I've noticed that maybe people will just be like, oh, you only mention these artists, right? Not that I give a shit, or I'm just creating a false narrative in my head, but the point is, if you are thinking, why do you only mention these artists? It's just A, who I'm enamored by, B, who I see the most of, and C, because like that's kind of, yeah, like it's a combination of just being enamored by specific artists and then obviously using them as a reference point, right? There are many like them. Okay, I can name like 10 right now. I'll try 10. Elisa Ivanova, right? Sori Kim, Terrell Whitcatch, right? What else? TB Choi, Rhino Tuna, right? Okay, and then obviously Kim Jong-il, Peter Han, Karl Kopinski, Antonio Staperitz, Broken Draw, right? Who else? Right? Axel, right? He's also he worked with artwod. Who else? Fucking Arn Bien, Billen, right? Fucking Evan Amundsen, Jonas Minnebo, right? So like all these, this is what I mean. Like I can think of many, right? But when I say, oh, Kim Jong-il, Peter Han, Karl Kopinski, that's just like the first thing that come to mind because I'm most enamored by them. That doesn't mean everybody else is a fucking garbage human being, right? That only applies to you listening or watching. But yeah. Anyways, I'm gonna rest my brain, and then I think it's getting better. Like this, obviously, the handles didn't make much sense, but slowly but surely, we're focusing on simplicity of design, and then we can start adding complexity. Because once the silhouette reads, these are so much better already. Because the silhouette, I think, if my understanding of silhouette is correct, just like the general outline reads a lot better. But yeah, and then we can go from there. And again, I can just add a little fucking, maybe like a hard surface element like this, right? And that's going around. Yeah, there you go. See, that's on both sides. But again, I digress, right? I'm complicating it. Let me rest my brain, right? That's the story. She shoved a fucking lollipop in his ass. And he's like, bro, you think I don't know? She's like, hey, you don't know. He's like, I'm dad, help me. He's like, nah, shut up. We're busy figuring out if she knows that I know. I don't know that you know that I know. Friends reference, because they're the only ones who've done that, right? But anyways, I'm gonna rest my brain. Please do so as well. Okay, cool. And we're back. But you see how this took me so much longer? But I'm more proud of these than I ever was of these because I think these are obviously great, good foundation, but I'm taking a lot more time to think. Genuinely taking a lot more time to think, right? And I think that is what matters to me. Again, I really want to keep stressing everybody, right? Drawing is thinking. And thinking is probably the best skill you could build for yourself, because when you are pushing yourself and getting used to mental friction. Again, drawing is the skill that's really taught me that I can learn anything, right? I picked up drawing, I went off on it for a year, went off on it. Like I just really committed and just trusted in the process. I kept trying to improve myself, right? Both based on what I was learning about learning, in like in terms of how to learn. And then I added piano, and then I improved very fast in that too, right? According to my teacher, he's like, holy shit, I've never seen somebody improve this fast, blah, blah. Apart from this one other student he has, he's 17, and that man practices like 4 hours a day. He's a kid in my eyes, obviously has a lot more time, but the point is, he practices more, right? Not he's more talented, but he just practices more. He enjoys it more, right? That kid picked up violin too, right? So, that aside, the point is like, I got a lot better at violin, and in 2 years, in almost 2 years, I started January 29th, 2024, right? It's November 11th, I believe. Oh, Remembrance Day. Yes, Remembrance Day. But what's it called? Hey, we don't get a holiday for that. It's unfortunate. My sister was complaining about it. but what's it called? It's been almost 2 years, and I'm learning solfeggio, which is supposedly a level 8 piece. I don't know what the pace for that is, like if that's normal for 2 years, but according to my teacher, it's very good. And he's like, it's because you practice and you're consistent and you know how to learn, right? Or at least I added that last one in because I know how to learn, everybody. But anyways, let me start drawing while I'm talking, otherwise, because that's a skill I'm building anyways. What are we trying to have? Are we trying to have a conversation? Let's see. Yeah, we'll have a conversation. But obviously I want these people to be facing us. So, and this is a great way for me to establish the horizon line as well, actually. Okay, we'll do something like this. This is actually, I don't think I've done something like this, so we'll establish something like this. And again, this pen is so weird right now. Let's see if I'm doing this right. Okay, and then there you go. Okay, it's not that good. It's not that good, but that's fine. Because I did mess up the perspective. I genuinely did mess up the perspective. Right? It was supposed to be, because like horizon line I want to be here, so it's supposed to be way more looking straight on. But the issue is I shouldn't have even created these contour lines, because this is supposed to be the side of the face. So I actually did do it correctly. I simply misattributed or misunderstood the fact that I didn't need to make the center line, because this is the center line right here. This right here, we're looking at the side. So that's on me. It's completely fine. I can make the next one like that. And at the end of the day, it's just practice. Right? So, these guys are having a happy conversation. Again, I'm trying to follow, really, really, really trying to follow. The contour, right? Because you're not placing features in isolation. We're placing features on a form, and this form is very organic. It's very spherical. It's very nuanced. And this is just a simple form. When we get to actual people and faces, this is why I'm practicing this for minimum 50 reps and probably going to be 100, to be honest, right? Is that right now what we're building is the ability to draw forms and to place features on forms, which is a really, really, really important ability. Right? This person's pretty happy. They're like, yeah, that's pretty cool. Whatever you're talking about, I'm not paying attention. I'm just waiting to get my turn in. This is much like every fucking person who ever converses. That's why we also need to apparently read how to win friends and how to win friends and influence people, right? I feel bad, to be honest. When I was talking to Tyrion on, today is Tuesday, when I was talking to him on Sunday, dude, I feel bad. I was so sleep deprived, and I had coffee, my brain was just fucking out of it, and we both were. So not only did that stream go horribly wrong, at least for him, right? Just me, my personality was not meshing with not the stream audience. Stream audience loved us, from what I could tell. They're just very nice people. Everybody who was there and just talking about art and stuff. But, again, I'm not brand friendly, right? And you know, he needs to care about that stuff. He's built a platform and he's building success. I wouldn't want to get in the way of that success whatsoever. Watch the episode before the last one, not the if you want context, don't watch about what the fuck I'm talking about. Whatever this part is, go not the part before this, but the part before that, right? Go to that one, and you'll like the first 10 minutes will explain everything. But yeah, Tieran's a fucking really nice guy. But what I'm trying to say is I feel so bad because I was doing that thing where, like, because I'm so passionate about art, and I can tell he's very passionate about art. We were just talking about art, and obviously we were asking each other about like what we thought about specific things and how we approach things. Am I in extreme discomfort? No. Okay, let's recalibrate. Okay, this is better. But I noticed there were times when I was just trying to not talk over him, but I was just trying to say something, and I was doing that thing where I'm like, I'm just waiting for my turn. I didn't do it as much, thankfully. Like, I'm actually very proud of myself because it's something I think most people struggle with. It's just the whole, like, bro, just say what you have to say because I want to say what I have to say. I think many people struggle with that. But I caught myself doing that, which is why I chilled and was like, okay, I don't know if that's correct. By the way, drawing and talking is a skill. Just if I wanted to, just want to clarify. Oh no, it's not correct. It should be way further back. It should be back there. Yeah. See, because like, look, again, like these eyebrows are like this, but you see how this is, and again, at this level of scale and proportion, every tiny change makes a difference. See, this is like this, and now look, I'm gonna shift it slightly, and now this is like that, right? This versus this. So this versus this versus this, and that's what makes the perspective wonky. It's the little things. So that's why we build our eye. This is why we really strive for perfection, not to be perfect, but to see perfect and to essentially minimize imperfect, right? I put imperfect in quotes because you can get away with a lot, but that's basically why. Like, this is why you it's really beneficial to train perspective. Really beneficial. Probably the fucking most beneficial thing you can do in your entire art practice is to think and train perspective. And if that intimidates you, I would really implore and encourage you not to be intimidated by that, because it's literally drawing is thinking. You know, if I can keep saying one thing over and over, it's that drawing is thinking. So the more you think, the better you're getting at drawing, right? I was thinking quite a bit throughout all of this, and I'm genuinely trying my best to visualize everything, right? Like, genuinely trying my best. Okay, I want to do a different one this time. They're just having a friendly conversation, so he is actually not even wearing his helmet. It's like it's not fully on, you know? Yeah, and it's... See, you gotta follow the contour. So that was an unconfident line. Right? And yeah, he's not wearing his helmet. Or at least, like, he's not wearing the top half of his helmet. Maybe the bottom half, it's still there. So we need to... There you go. Now that line is way too thick because, again, why? Because I'm not proficient with the pen, right? So we have to be very aware of our strengths and weaknesses and just double down to the extreme on our weaknesses. Because that is what is going to create proficiency. Okay. Okay, so I did make a mistake. And like right now I'm thinking medieval stuff because obviously the example that I did have was medieval stuff. It's nice because like this way I have variety. Now, and it's just based on my examples, right? We're just thinking based on the one image that I clicked on when I typed in helmet design concept art. I clicked on one image, I'm like, okay, let's be inspired by this one image. And everything following this specific session is inspired by that one image in terms of whatever designs and stuff I want to do, right? But then the next session will be inspired by the next image, right? And that way I get to have variety and I get to think and really just try my best. Okay, so we got this, and let's say it's coming across like that. So if that's this side of his mouth, Then, okay, see, this is why organic and learning to just fucking go around is important, because I think I already made a huge mistake here. So it's like this, perspective, this is jutting out, right? If we come back, it should be jutting out here as well. And then something like that, maybe? I don't think that's accurate, because look, it's not even centered. So if anything, this is extremely inaccurate. But it's okay. We've already made the mistake, and it's a good thing. So we've committed what we could, right? This person's just talking to another person, and it didn't quite go the way we wanted in terms of like the actual design. But now we know that what was, at least in my opinion, holding us back, or holding me back right now, is I hope you feel very involved when I say things like holding us back, right? And hashtag community, right? But what was holding me back is just I was not following. Okay, again, I wasn't in extreme discomfort. I wasn't thinking about the perspective that much at all, right? I wasn't thinking about the perspective that much at all. I really wasn't thinking about the box. I really was not thinking about the box. So that's my biggest issue right now, is I need to be able to see the box at all times, right? So we're gonna try again. We're gonna try to see the box at all times. I genuinely, I keep forgetting to see the box at all times, because what it is I didn't draw for like a week, and now I'm back. This is my second day back, right? So you kind of forget. That's my excuse. But the reality is, right, is I'm most likely underestimating the difficulty of this. I'm most likely underestimating the difficulty of actually being able to place components, because these are just heads talking to each other, right? But to place components in a scene and have them look at each other or be in the same, like, because what I have to think about is I'm thinking about the box, but I have to understand that they all follow a specific horizon line now, right? And yeah, like heads can tilt and turn and still look at each other and still be believable and still talk to each other, but I have to keep that in mind, right? So like this guy, I want to do something like this, but I have to keep that box in mind at all times. That is actually, now I'm in extreme discomfort. Now that I'm keeping the box in my mind at all times, now I'm in extreme discomfort. There you go. And I'm losing it. I'm literally like, I started and then I just lost it, right? That's how it usually is. And see, I already messed up the perspective. The thing is, these bean shapes are very forgiving. They're very forgiving, but I did already mess up the perspective, because he was supposed to be looking more at us. And I fucked that up, which is good. Again, like, we want to feel good about that. Right, so now I have to recalibrate the box in my mind. Jesus, what a burp that was. But yeah, I have to recalibrate the box in my mind. Still think about the center line. Is this pen dying? I swear it should not be dying. I just replaced it. There's no way I've been drawing that much with it. I didn't even draw for an entire week. I'm confused. But okay, see, like, yeah, I just gotta keep that fucking box in my mind. I just gotta keep having that box. That's what's helping the most right now, actually. Continuing to have that box in my mind. And we'll make this a girl, because it's good to get practice in just adding different types. Features. Yeah, I think I'm gonna keep going with this until I can just get the gist of, see, like, these are such unconfident lines I'm making right now, because again, I need to pause. I need to take a break. I need to pause to think. Right? Oh wait, if this is a girl, we should give her the little stereotypical girl lips. There you go. Like this shit. There you go. There you go. This is actually, he crushes on her, which is why he looks so happy, and she likes him too. See, I can make sweet stories. I can make things that are like, wow, he's not just talking about death, murder, or cursing all the time. Would you look at that? Hashtag Viggy character develops himself. That's a statement. Anyways, yeah, see, okay, now this is really helping. Constantly thinking about the box and thinking about where the box is placed. Now that is what's really helping. this is why I love this helmet design shit, because it literally forces you to think about form wrapping. I haven't even practiced much form wrapping, but this is a great way, a great reason, a great excuse to practice form wrapping. So I should have added a little hinge over there too, but that aside, yeah, this is good. This is good. This way I can really be in discomfort. And again, I'm trying to think about this from a different perspective as much as I can. There you go. I think that's much better in terms of perspective. Oh man, these little bean people are so cute. They're so fucking adorable. They're so fucking adorable. I love this shit. My sister saw them, they're like, oh, they're like little monkeys. I'm like, yeah, they're so cute. So fucking cute. But let's see. Let's try to how much time has passed? Okay, 55 minutes so far. Oh, this is good. Okay, so let's really take our time with the helmet design then. Okay, so she also has her little visor up. We can say that much. And we'll put it here. And this way I really want to focus on the lines for this as well. But yeah, she has her visor up as well. It's right next to her ear. Do you really see that though? Maybe a little. Right, but she has it up. And hers is okay, because that's the perspective. So if I were to do something like that, see, unconfident lines. If I were to do something like that, right? And again, it's obviously a three-dimensional form. I'm doing this specifically because it's going to help with my lines, even if right now it doesn't seem like it. Yeah, this is a great way to practice my lines. Okay, I'm going to really take my time, because I can make good lines with this pen, clearly, but this one takes more work. And this will just be a great excuse to just slowly practice. And maybe there's a little cutout in hers, right, like that. Yeah, and we can just add maybe another little patch, right? This is where maybe design can come into place. Like, oh, there's like she has a little jut out thing, right? Okay, and then what do we want the silhouette to be for her? I'm thinking something weird. Okay, again, if it's coming out from that end, it's coming out from this end as well. Okay, I wasn't in extreme discomfort. Let's think about the box again. Right. There you go. And try to keep it simple for the time being. That's our top part. And of course we can, because we got to think about the fact that she has to see through it. This is where I think medieval design is pretty cool, because you can just add these little I think in general, most things when you design them, you can just add little cutouts. And it's like, oh wow, looks legit, kind of. Okay, and then, okay, see, like I'm not in extreme discomfort anymore. Let's think about that perspective. Yeah, this is great. Like I think I'm finally starting to understand how I can use my UX design skills, like when it comes to symmetry on web pages and shit, because that's what I do, right? I design internet interfaces, but now I'm starting to see now how I can apply it to a 3D form. Because if I just think about each plane as a flat web page, technically, in which elements can be placed, and then you apply the Gestalt principles that I know and I apply in my work to this, or what used to be my work. I'm unemployed. That is a great way for me to think about it. Holy shit. Okay, so everything just needs to be a flat plane for me then, or a relatively flat plane, right? Like this is just a relatively flat plane. Yeah, that's the way I should think about it. It's like, okay, now how can I just either comprise or add additional three-dimensional forms, add or subtract three-dimensional forms? Yeah, okay, like it's just about like, there's just a lot more that can be done, you know, in terms of the design on that flat plane and the fact that it's still three-dimensional, so you can add, subtract, blend, right? Lots of different things. But I think this is like probably like right now, this is definitely the best I've done so far. But that's obviously something that comes with time. Right now, let's see. We'll make this straight. See, and again, we got to think about the perspective. And it all comes down to just being able to understand how things are in relation with each other, right? Okay, lost the perspective, am I in extreme discomfort? No, I'm not. Let's bring it back. And then what do we want to do here? Okay, those lines are subpar. Okay, so if it's jutting out, then I need to be able to think about that on the opposite end, right? It's jutting out, and then it's coming around. There you go. That's a lot better already. And then we can just, again, how can I design this flat plane, right? For the time being, we'll just create a little cutout there. And what else can we do? Maybe I could add a little hinge here, a little, not even a hinge, just like a little cylindrical thing there. That's not bad. I'm thinking maybe, okay, like again, I'm trying to think of it as a designer, right? Like what elements can be added or subtracted? Well, maybe we can be at a little jut out like that. Something like that, right? And again, trying to think about the perspective as much as possible. Comes over here. Okay, so it's like, it's okay. This I think that could have been much better. But again, why does it look so mediocre? These specific elements that I added, because my lines are not thin enough. This is, again, like I'm obsessed with line thinness because I feel as if it adds a lot of clarity and fidelity when you do want to create details, right? But I think this has been my best so far. I genuinely think this has been it's actually been getting better. So I love that I'm finding my own process. Yeah, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, cool. So yeah, guys, this is what thinking, drawing, and taking your time looks like. 5 horrible reps. But I don't mean that in a mean way. Like, just objectively, when you hold yourself to a high standard, right? The word horrible is just, personally, I'm using it as an objective measure. It's like, it's shit. It's all shit. But I love that. If these were good, then I wouldn't be learning because I would just think they're good. Therefore, there's no need to improve. I can see flaws in every single one of them. And it's like the known, right? I can see what I've done. The unknown, which is I don't know, like what could, wait, no, there's a better way to explain this, okay? Because there's the known, the unknown, and the unknown, right? So that's what I'm trying to extrapolate to this practice. Let me think about a very creative and clever and concise way to put it. So the known is what I'm creating. The unknown is what I'm striving to obtain, right? Like the unknown skills in design, right? And the unknown is actually what I'm problem solving. So the unknown is kind of like a known in the sense that like I know what it is, I just don't know exactly how to achieve it. So that is where problem solving, researching, looking at examples, and just thinking about it in terms of like a structured, logical way for me is what's happening. Like we are essentially demystifying the unknown, right? And then the unknown is I don't even know. There are things I don't even know that I don't know that add to design right now. And that's the beautiful part, is like that's what we're gonna keep discovering snippets of that unknown, right? Or just go to Pokemon, Gen 4. Hey, they got plenty of unknown there. Fucking garbage. Garbage is absolute shit joke. See, that I can acknowledge as pure beauty and poetry, but still bad. But yeah, it's been an hour and 4 minutes. Wonderful. Okay, I hope you all drew along. I hope you had fun. Hope you all had a good fucking time. I hope you all focused on the effort and really, really tried. I genuinely did. And again, like really just reminding myself of the box and like everything inside the box. And just, again, it's like the structural box and the organic forms inside the box, which are still comprised of structure. And then like the hard surfacey organic forms around that organic form, right? So like it's a beautiful mix. I'm fucking loving this, right? And this is great. Now that I've actually made that shift in my mind that, hey, why is there a disconnect between my UX design skills, web design skills, whatever, product design skills, mobile design skills? Why is there a disconnect between what I'm able to design on that versus this? Well, the first thing that's come to my realization that I've actually verbalized, because there's a difference between subconsciously understanding something and explicitly verbalizing it. So you're like, oh, that's why, right? And I didn't verbalize this until like 2 episodes ago or yesterday, or the last episode, or whatever the fuck you want to call it, right? Is that, you know, web design and just mobile design, internet interface design is flat 2D. This is 3D. So that was like, okay, that's why it's difficult, because I can design on 2D planes, but I can't design on 3D planes or 3D forms, right? It's hard to transfer that over. And then the question was, why is it hard to transfer that over? It's like, okay, well, is it the way I'm thinking? And now I'm realizing, and I believe this is the right path, or like a really, really good direction, is like, okay, well, I can start by bridging that gap and bring my UX design skills over, or web design skills over, by thinking about these 3D forms as components that have 2D planes which can be designed upon, right? That completely changes it for me right now. And that's why this looks very decent. You know, this looks very decent. It doesn't look anything amazing, but this looks very decent because like, oh, I can just think about the 3D form that I'm designing as a myriad of 2D planes, right? Which in their structure can be designed as per the principles I understand, and then in the detailing of those planes and that structure, have additions, subtractions, blendings, and all that, which is still following the general, like I'm basically bridging the gap between how can I apply 2D thinking to 3D forms in the context of design and the design skills I have built. And then over time, over hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of repetitions, it will just be, okay, well, I can now apply 3D design skills. But I think bridging the gap and trying to bring over my previous knowledge and experience is going to allow me to gain the new knowledge and experience, which is 3D, right? 2D to 3D. But yeah, with that fucking word vomit aside, I hope that makes sense, because I'm really, really trying to explain my thought process, and that's why I fucking said like, hey, I'm not drawing on the back of this, because I'm trying to, as per my channel banner, demystify the process to greatness. 5 years from now, when I'm drawing some fucking crazy portraits or whatever, everybody's like, oh, and in figures, and people are like, how did he do it? What was he thinking? Oh my god, right? Congratulations, you now have 200, 300, 400 videos to look back on, right? And in any one of them, the hope is like, at any point in any of my videos, hopefully you should be able to hear my thought process, what I'm constantly doing, which is why I keep saying, am I in extreme discomfort? Okay, think about the box. Okay, think about this, because I want people to know what I'm thinking, right? And I want to explicitly stress that what I'm thinking is not unique. It's just what all artists are thinking. But there has never been, in my belief, and from what I can tell on the internet, a repository which showcases to this extent that this is actually what they think and draw, or think about while they draw. And here I am really trying to reinforce that it's all the thinking, it's all the different things you have to keep in mind, the general perspective, right? The like the box, the smaller boxes inside that, the organic forms in that smaller box, right? The wrapping around it, but thinking about always thinking about the box and the grid, right? Trying to think about the horizon line, because now we're trying to create a story out of this. These two people talking to each other, this shit going on here, right? So, yeah. The point is, there's a lot of things to think about, and every single one of them is a primary skill, and every single primary skill has a bunch of meta skills, but which are just small skills. So it's all skill, not talent, all skill. Get that shit out of your fucking mind. Even if talent exists, it does not benefit you, because you still have to work your fucking ass off and build skills that are tangible and reflective of your hard work. So it all just comes down to working hard and believing in yourself. Vicky inspires. Anyways, as always, I hope you really put a lot of effort in, right? Fuck you for watching. Keep drawing, and please give me money.